let's talk about the balloon. Ah, the fucking balloon, the Chinese balloon. There's a balloon. Let's look at the Chinese balloon, the that pops over the U.S. Well, yeah, well they blew it up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Intelligence from top-secret U.S. spy planes is providing startling details about China's spy operations. We are learning that images taken of the spy balloons by high-altitude U-2 planes show in detail 5 antennas and huge solar panels. The kind of technology that gave the Chinese not just the ability.
All right, let's get back.
Passed over sensitive military sites before the U.S. Air Force shot.
Why you gotta pop the balloon, bro? This ain't balloon tower defense.
There have been other balloons where that one came from. And these new details come as China is forcefully pushing back against President Biden's very public criticism of Chinese President Xi Jinping at the State of the Union. Out front now, Will Ripley, who tonight is in Taiwan.
Fiery new
not the balloon, man. That's sad.
Beijing.
It's good that China has like 3 other balloons. They have one in South America, I heard. They have another one like.
Think of any other world leader trade places with Xi Jinping?
Another one somewhere else. I don't know. I forgot where.
You think of any? Who would? I can't think of one. This man has enormous problems.
China says Biden's remarks are.
Guys, we probably have like a fucking UFO or multiple UFOs in a Nevada desert hitting in a fucking warehouse that nobody has been in years. You know what I mean? Like, we probably have some crazy technology that nobody knows about yet. So I don't really think we should be worrying about these balloons, honestly. And also, like, 3 of them flew over, like, America during Trump's presidency, and nobody talked about that. So
highly irresponsible and violate basic diplomatic protocols. Problems complicated by a growing pile of evidence. Pieces of the downed balloon pulled from the sea off the Carolina coast. Proof, the Pentagon says, China's weather balloon claim is nothing but hot air. A Chinese foreign ministry spokesman says, I have no knowledge about America's claim that this balloon is part of a fleet. I think it could be part of the information and public opinion war that the U.S. is waging against China. The international community can see clearly who's the world's largest espionage.
Look, China's probably lying. They probably did send a balloon. You know what I mean? But either way, it's a fucking balloon. Every country spies on each other. That's what countries do.
The U.S. linked the balloon to a vast Chinese military surveillance program, a growing list of global balloon sightings and questions. The U.S. believes many balloons are launched from China's Hainan Island, where a U.S. spy plane made an emergency landing in 2001. China took 3 months to investigate before returning the plane in pieces. Now, China is attacking the U.S. for shooting down its balloon and sending the pieces to an FBI lab. The spokesman says the U.S. insists on using force to attack Chinese unmanned civilian airships, which seriously violates international practice and sets a horrible precedent.
Attacks China. Yeah, I mean, it's in our airspace, you know what I mean?
With China's defense minister, Beijing bluntly declined.
And well, it's a precarious moment, and I know that you have been learning that
if it's in our airspace, it can be shot down by us, you know.
This program, and in fact, this program is not new, and in fact, balloons flying over the U.S. Spying from China is not new. But just how much did Xi Jinping?
It's just so funny how like China's literally using like a fucking World War I technology to like fucking spy on us. You know what I mean? Because balloons are good for like closer images of the ground, but like satellites can catch most of the military bases or whatever that America has. But it's just so funny that they're using like World War I type tech to spy on us. It's like, what? We don't have a fucking balloon shooter yet?
No.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about more than 40 countries across 5 continents, according to a senior State Department official, these balloons have gathered intelligence. This program has been going on with President Xi's direct knowledge. However, lawmakers briefed on this have been told that this particular balloon at this particular time may have been dispatched without the knowledge of Xi and also without the knowledge of senior People's Liberation Army and Communist Party leaders, Aaron.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Beau again. So today we are going to talk about balloons.
Balloons!
We're going to talk about balloons. And
I love balloons.
And concerns that you probably shouldn't have. Right now, I know this is all over the news, and there are a lot of people who are definitely drumming up a lot of worry. You don't need to be worried. There's only one group of people that should be worried about this. Okay, if you've missed the news, right now the United States is...
I love that Star Wars shirt, dude. I'm digging it. I'm digging the Star Wars shirt, bro. Beau the fifth column, I love your style, man. He always has a different shirt every video. It's cool. I like that.
Tracking
It's
a
a cool
Chinese spy balloon
a
that is
unique
floating
idea.
gracefully over the United States, up in the northern U.S. There are a lot of people who are trying to create a lot of drama with this. This happens all the time. Surveillance flights go over this country daily, multiple times per day. It's not a big deal. One way or another, whether it be something like this, kind of exotic, or a plane, or a satellite. Surveillance flights occur all the time, either right up against our airspace or over our airspace or whatever. This isn't something to be concerned about in any way, shape, or form. Not just is it not a rarity today, this has been going on a really long time. As we have talked about numerous times on the channel, we are moving into a near-peer contest, a second Cold War.
Woo! Second Cold War. I love Cold Wars.
History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme, and this is definitely carrying the same tune.
Guerra
If you
Fria.
weren't around back then, Google U2 Gary Powers, the letter U, the number 2, and the name Gary Powers. That will show you how long this type of stuff has been happening. And yeah, the U.S. does it too.
I think he's talking about back in the day we had a few U-2 spy planes crash in Russia and other countries. I think we were spying on them and our plane crashed and they found it. So I think that's what he's talking about.
Every major power does. Undoubtedly, the news that China put up 3 Y-35s, Yugan 35s, check the name, which are a type of spy satellite. They put up 3 of them in November, barely made the news because it's not really that big of a deal. I know that there will be pundits saying that, well, the balloons are going to be more effective because, you know, they don't have to get through the atmosphere and it'll be better, more effective. I don't know about that. I mean, the images might be clearer, but I don't know that they would be more effective. Who remembers the movie Patriot Games? Back in the day, Harrison Ford movie.
Patriot
There's a scene
Games.
in it.
I'm too young for that.
Where the bad guys are all training in the desert, right? And then an alarm on a watch goes off, and they all go inside because that's when the satellite's passing over. If you know it's there, it's not more effective. In fact, it can be a detriment to the country operating it because you could hypothetically inflate fake vehicles to make it look like numbers are larger than they are. You could move planes from one installation to another to make it appear that they're stationed somewhere that they're not. It makes you vulnerable to a lot of intentional
Sneak
disinformation
attack.
campaigns.
Misinformation. Yeah.
Yeah, the only people who need to be worried about this are Chinese counterintelligence. Guaranteed in the last 24 hours, there were conversations between Chinese counterintelligence officers trying to figure out whether or not the U.S. is just engaged in like the ultimate power move or they have a real problem. Because they've got to figure out why the United States found out about it, looked at it, and was just like, meh.
Yep.
If you are Chinese counterintelligence, you have to wonder why they don't want to study it. The U.S. doesn't want to study it. Why not get it out of the sky and take a look at it? If you are Chinese counterintelligence, there is only one answer.
Whoa.
That's because they already know everything about it. They already know its capabilities.
You know, they did take it down eventually. We did shoot down the spy balloon, but, you know, this was a few days ago this video came out. But I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure we have some crazy, insane technology somewhere in, like, the Nevada desert, in some warehouse, that we have scientists studying, and you know what I mean? Like, we can't be afraid of some spy balloons from China.
Now, it could just be that the U.S. already knows. Or it could be the U.S. doesn't know, but understands it doesn't really pose a risk, so they're acting like they do, in the hopes of triggering an overreaction within Chinese counterintelligence, which sometimes, in a lot of countries, can lead to that country losing very productive people. Because if they believe there was a leak, they're going to find the source of that leak.
Yep.
Even if one never existed. This isn't a concern.
It's not. Don't be scared, guys.
It's not a big deal. Happens all the time. It's a slow news week. There's not a lot of new high drama news, so this is getting a lot of coverage. That's really what this is.
They're just trying to rake in the views.
We're moving into
A new
we're
Cold
not
War.
moving into. We are in
A new
a
Cold
second
War.
Cold War now.
The new Cold War starts, boys. Get ready.
If you weren't around back then, it would really probably put you at ease to read a lot about it. Overflights like this, standoffs with ships and subs, all of this stuff, it's coming. Make no mistake about it. And in many cases, the media is going to be less than helpful, especially.
Look at this. On May 1st, 1960, a United States U-2 spy plane was shot down. It was shot down, so it didn't even crash. They shot this mother effer down. The Soviet army. And so that's when we discovered that, like, yeah, countries are just spying on each other. America's just spying on people. So every country does this, guys. Like, every country spies on other countries. It's just part of national defense. You know what I mean? But there it is.